Turn to business news now with Patrick O'Mara beaming in from Wellington. Hi, Patrick. A unit of the troubled CBL Group has been sold.
Yes, indeed, John. Now, I'm sure you remember CBL Corporation. It was placed in voluntary administration back in February, and this was after the Reserve Bank had tried to put the group's insurance unit, CBL Insurance, into liquidation because of fears that it might not be able to cover possible claims. Now, KordaMentha is the administrator of that. It's now put its British subsidiary PFP, which provides fee protection insurance. It sold it to two private equity firms in the US. We don't actually have any detail about the deal nor the price. They're remaining silent on that. But the issue here is it raises some interesting questions about the future of the company, because two of the directors of CBL Group have tried to put together this rescue plan to keep it afloat and not put it into liquidation as the Reserve Bank would have it. But KordaMentha are now selling off bits and pieces of it. So there is a liquidation hearing which is going to be heard at the end of July. The question is, by the time we get to that, how many more units might be sold?
Yeah, it's a fascinating case, isn't it, the CBL? The government's books, the government's finances remain in good shape, Patrick. The latest figures tell us.
Indeed it does, John. I know there is some question marks over the slowdown in the economy, but the government's tax take still looking very healthy on forecast. Basically, we saw, excluding investment losses and gains, the operating surplus stood at $5.2 billion for the 11 months to May. So we haven't got the full picture yet, just a month to go.
Yeah.
But that's nearly $500 million more than what they had forecast. Now, the interesting thing out of that, John, from perspective of perhaps teachers and nurses, is how much of that extra pot might go to help get this pay deal over the line, which is looking slightly shaky at the present time. I guess the other interesting thing is that their net debt target, it's at 20.1%. That's just a shade above where the government had hoped to be by 2022.
Yeah, it is,
so again, just a little bit of extra money that might be out there for them to borrow to get some of these big infrastructure projects, such as highways, schools, medical facilities that we're all crying out for, particularly up in Auckland.
Thanks, Patrick. What do the markets do today? I haven't heard a thing about them.
Look, well, a late run, John. After just half an hour ago, we were saying they weren't doing anything at all. They put on 37 points in a late spurt to close at 9,063. The dollar, pretty steady though, 67.6 US, 91.8 Australian, and British pence, 51.1.
Thank you very much, Patrick O'Mara, doing business news for us this week from Wellington.